We have Joaquin Duato, the CEO of Johnson & Johnson, joining us this morning. Joaquin, thanks so much for being here in studio. So I want to start with this 5-year Carvykti data that you're presenting. You and Legend have this data showing that Carvykti can keep people with multiple myeloma in remission for 5 years after this one-time treatment. So tell us a little bit about those results and what it means for the use of Carvykti going forward.
Thank you, Angelica. It's always great to be able to attend ASCO. I love it because it gives hope in cancer care, and that's an area in which we have done a lot, but we should be doing even more. We have a full core press as Johnson & Johnson in this conference. We aim to be the #1 company in oncology, reaching $50 billion in sales by 2030. And importantly, as you have described with Carvykti, alleviating suffering and saving lives. We are presenting more than 70 studies in different tumor types, different stages. One of them is related to Carvykti. Carvykti is our cell therapy, and we have been able to demonstrate that after 5 years of a single administration of Carvykti, more than a third of the patients remain disease-free. So that's really, really very important. In this ASCO, as Johnson & Johnson, we are having a full core press.
And at the same time, though, you also have this really early data in a trispecific antibody. Joe, I know you'll love to hear about that. Mm-hmm. And, there's this talk that maybe some of those newer technologies could actually replace CAR-T and the more complicated technologies. So tell us about that trispecific and where you see it fitting in.
Absolutely. We have been, as Johnson & Johnson, developing multiple myeloma therapies for 2 decades. As a matter of fact, 50% of the multiple myeloma drugs approved in the last 2 decades come from Johnson & Johnson. But our aim as Johnson & Johnson is not only to extend lives, but to cure multiple myeloma. We are presenting data here in this Congress of one of our latest immunotherapies, a trispecific antibody showing very promising results in very pre-treated patients. So again, our goal here is not only to get the patients disease-free, but get the patients in multiple myeloma to a cure.
And do you think that some of those newer technologies could replace CAR-T and the need for these more complex, both logistically, but also for the patient therapies?
Our view is that there's going to be always a best therapy for each patient. So what we are going in cancer is to be more individualized, more precise with the type of therapy. So there's room both for cell therapy and multi-specific antibodies.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that people always look for out of this conference is sort of the latest and greatest in some of those acquisition targets. So tell us about your appetite for doing deals right now, both in cancer and outside of it, especially given all of the macroeconomic uncertainty out there.
We are always looking for the long term, and we're always looking for therapies that are going to improve the standard of care. We're looking for the best science. In 2024, in the last year or so, we have invested $50 billion in M&A in R&D. Our goal is always to be able to look outside. Not all the best science is going to be inside of Johnson & Johnson, and we are looking forward to bring the best technologies to address cancer care. One of these examples it's TAR-200, a new therapy for localized bladder cancer. It's a great example of what Johnson & Johnson can do. It brings together a medical device and a drug for the treatment of localized bladder cancer. About 500,000 people a year has localized bladder cancer. We have shown very impressive results with 83% response in bladder cancer, and patients half of them remaining disease-free after a year of treatment. So those are the type of things that we are looking in the outside, things that are going to improve the standard of care in this area in which we need to continue to work looking for cures.
And you did a big deal recently, just in January. So how much more capacity do you have this year and the next few years? And, really what size are you looking for?
One of the advantages of Johnson & Johnson is our size and scale. We are a AAA rated company, and we have a strong financial position that enables us to have the right optionality. We have a unique business model. We are highly diversified. We have 26 platforms with more than $1 billion, and that enables us to be able to reinvent ourselves at every cycle. It's been 63 consecutive years that we have developed, that we have offered dividend increases, and 28 consecutive quarters in which we have met or exceed analyst expectations, top and bottom line. So our capacity is ample. Our focus, however, it's in early stage deals in which we can improve the standard of care and add value, and that's the majority of the deals that we did. Last year we did 40 deals of less than $5 billion in this category of early stage in which Johnson & Johnson can add its scale, its critical mass to bring medicines to patients.
I mean, we're the envy of the world, obviously, in innovation. You worry, this most favored, and I've talked to the president about this, and I got nowhere on the most favored nation proposal to, I don't know how we got in this mess where Europe has basically price controls, and now we're essentially going to be importing price controls, which does not solve the issue. Do you expect 3-4 years from now, if this goes through, will you have the same innovation that you're talking about right now if this proposal goes through?
We are engaging with this administration and sharing the same goal, which is how can we make healthcare and the patient experience better and more affordable in the US, while at the same time maintaining the capacity of life science companies, medical innovation companies to continue to bring new therapies and medical technologies for patients which are badly needed, as we are discussing here in ASCO.
How did it happen where Europe has, it could be 1/10 of the price in the United States?
We have to work on reforming the system. When you look at the net prices, the prices of Europe and the US are more aligned. American patients, for example, in cancer, are able to get therapies 2 or 3 years earlier than European patients. And in the US, we have a system in which the intermediaries, the middlemen, are capturing, in our case, 58% of the value
in the
value chain.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's important. That's where we should focus on how we can pass that
to the patient. Are they focusing on that? Is this the right? Is this the right target?
We have a constructive engagement with this administration, trying to balance these two aspects of innovation and affordability. And I'm positive that with this constructive engagement, we'll be able to find solutions.
Were you troubled by the news yesterday about the Moderna messenger RNA vaccines and pulling the deal that they had with that? Is the science back up that there's problems with messenger RNA? You use your COVID vaccine, I asked you off camera, was an adenovirus. So it's not the same thing. It's a DNA virus, right? So it's not the same thing. Are you going to do a bird flu vaccine if it's not going to be a messenger RNA?
We are not working on vaccines anymore.
Not at all?
Not at all. Our focus is to be able to advance therapies in 5 areas: cardiovascular, mental health, immunology, and oncology. And that's our focus today. Now, I believe that in the US, we have a unique ecosystem that has made this country the envy of the world when it comes to medical innovation. It's a combination of factors. We have the best science. We're able to attract the best talent. We have venture capital that is willing to invest. And we have companies like Johnson & Johnson that develop these therapies with the patient in mind. So I am convinced that the US has all the conditions to remain a leader in medical innovation into the future.